Welcome everybody to the Bass Fug Podcast. It is a going back in time episode. We are with, the first episode was a music episode, but then SoundCloud flagged it for copyright or something, and then I tried another one, and it didn't work. So then we tried an interview format, and the guest that I have with me today is the first person that was ever interviewed on the Bass Fug Podcast. It is Paranerd, my buddy Paul. How are you, Paul?
I'm good. How are you, Will?
Doing good. I have some information to share with you. 1 second here.
Some information to share with me.
Yeah, since we started, the podcast is doing pretty good, man. We got good numbers going on, good monthly numbers. It's a thing. We have a format. And you know, I really think that first episode set the tone for a lot of things, because in that first episode, you're getting intimate about some details of your life. And man, we've got a lot of, I don't know if you've been following, but we've had some crazy stories on this fucking podcast, man. Like really deep things, you know?
Well, I listened to a bunch of them. I forget how, I'm not caught up. I've kind of stopped listening a few months ago because I think I was caught up then.
Yeah. But
I listened to like almost everything. I know I listened to the Sasquatch and Eric Daigle and Jonah and Blake and what's his name? A bunch. I listened to a bunch of them.
Yeah. And it's we just released the episode with Duran.
Oh, cool.
Familiar with that? Ed Fliss is a really good one. And we got remember Raw?
Raw.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Raw, like WWF Raw.
Yes, WWF Raw. 1 second, I gotta grab my thing here.
Sure.
I usually. Well, I'm not gonna give away the details here. But anyways, okay, yeah. So no, it was Raoul Signé. He was on Sublight and Core Dump and Ad Nauseam and Planet Mu and stuff like that. But because you were big on the Planet Mu forums in the beginning. Right?
Yes, for a little while, until it died, I guess.
Yeah, all those forums died. So what have you been doing since, Paul?
Since when was the last time we talked? Was it last year or the year before? I forget.
Well, the interview was like 3 years ago. 2 years ago? No, it was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago seems right. Yeah. Since then.
You've been playing a lot of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Donkey Kong, and I guess I've been making music, but I've been more into like the classic gaming lately. Oh, wow. I don't know why. I was looking up Midlife Crisis to see if I was having one, because like I used to go to the arcades a lot, and I was like 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm having Midlife Crisis. I think I'm just getting back into old arcade games.
You got to play some Robotron. That's the one that puts some air on your chest. Fun. Yeah, Robotron
has some awesome sounds.
Yeah. Well, it was sampled on freaking Drux, Aphex Twin Drux.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the first sound effect on God, I forget. It's one of the breakcore songs, one of the drill and bass songs on it, where it sounds like an Atari at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I think it's like, is it 57 Simaru beats or something like that?
You know what? Since we're breaking all the rules on this time travel episode, I'm going to look it up on YouTube. Okay, it's 54 Siren beats. I think this is it. Okay, can you hear that?
No.
Okay, well, it is 54 Siren beats.
Hey, I guess kind of correctly.
Yeah.
It's like 57, but yeah. Well, I do remember it was like burning.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's a good sound.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong. That's some good sound design in Donkey Kong. No?
Oh yeah, the sounds are amazing. Like the squeaky shoes sound is unbelievable in that game.
It's haunting.
It is. It's really great. It's a great game. I didn't think I would get into Donkey Kong, but then I got hardcore into it, and I was able to kill screen it eventually.
Oh, no way. Awesome.
Yeah, it took me like 9 months.
So you're a king of Kong now?
No. I'm just a guy who's able to kill screen it. I kill screened that, and I kill screened Donkey Kong Jr. too this summer.
Oh wow!
So I guess that's what I've been doing. I've still been making music.
Yeah.
Just not as much, and I've been releasing much. I've been kind of sticking around with it.
Okay.
I got a electron rhythm that I've been playing with.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But I haven't bought any new gear or anything. I don't feel like I need to, so.
Well, you were the evangelist for the Korg Volkas for a while.
Yeah.
And I got big hands, so I'm always like, anything that's tiny, I hate it. You know, like, and the Volkas, I never really gave them a shot. And I was like, this stuff, I'm not going to get into the Volkas, you know. But man, I got real hard into the Volkas. About a few months ago. And I picked up the Volca bass. I picked up the Volca FM. I got them real cheap too on Kijiji. That's for American listeners. It's Craigslist in Canada. Brought to you by Subway now. If you open the app, I don't know why it says Kijiji sponsored by Subway. But anyways, yeah, I just got solid today. But and then I got the SQ1. Sure. And the SQ1 is my favorite piece of gear.
Cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's exactly what I want. It's like just hit a couple buttons, you get a sequence going, and that's all you need, right?
Yeah,
it has everything on it. At first, I thought it was a bit pricey because I got it brand new, and I was like, "Oh God, $200 for a fucking 16-step sequencer? What am I, stupid?" You know? But it's really awesome. I'm down. But then I ended up selling the Volcas. I traded the Volca bass and the Volca FM for a Novation K station.
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's a pretty good trade. And the guy wanted to do it, so I was like, all right. So I did it. And now that K station is broken, so I have to fix it. Yeah. So I think he sold me a lemon knowingly.
That sucks.
I know what the problem is. It's it's the mod depth, whatever you want to call it, thing, variable resistor. So I'm just gonna crack it open and solder it back onto the board and see if that works. Yeah.
So that should be an easy fix.
Yeah. So what are you doing with these electrons then if you aren't releasing any music? Those are expensive things to have if you're to not be making music. Those are expensive paperweights.
Well, I still make music. I played a show not that long ago.
Oh, cool.
It was a weirder show. It's a different show. It was like a poetry night, at Aberdeen. It was like a French poetry night.
Cool.
And they paid me. Actually, it was a paying gig to do kind of minimal ambient sounds behind the poets while they read their poems.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that was like, I improvised some stuff just with the mono machine. And it was fun. It was different.
Was it like slam poetry or?
No. No, it's Acadian French poetry.
I love slam poetry now.
Really?
Oh my God. It's the most, you cannot manufacture something that stimulates the senses like a slam poetry gone wrong.
So you love it when it goes wrong.
Yeah. And for those who are into slam poetry in the audience, I'm not trying not to knock it. But at first I was like, so I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to start going to slam poetry nights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what slam poetry is. Like, how would you describe slam poetry?
It's like, it's saying things in a verbose way it's sort of like being a podcast host a little bit. It's like you have to project. You have to project your voice and you got to be like, Castlevania Bloodlines was such a good game, but does anybody know about Sonic 3? It's just like this weird, like...
So a certain cadence.
Yeah, exactly. That's what does it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I figure slam poetry, the slam part means like there has to be an aggressive element to it. There's like not necessarily an activism to it, but probably a like, listen to this, like this is, I'm telling you the real deal here type of attitude, right?
It's girls. A lot of the girls or the women are talking about their bodies a lot in it, and they're fighting against body shaming.
Cool.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, it is a good fight.
We need to get to the kill screen on body shaming.
I'm not sure what that would be like.
Yeah. So you're making stuff, but you aren't releasing stuff. You played a show. What is sonically going on? What's on your radar right now?
like listening wise?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well,
for those of you at home, Paula and I, it's been a while since we caught up, and now I only talk to people through podcasts. So I'll do your podcast. let's talk about stuff. So this is an unconventional revisiting time travel episode.
It's fun. That's like the best way to reconnect with old friends, is just making podcasts. And like talk to everybody that you want to talk to again. Like, hey, tell me your life in 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So that we're caught up for a year, and then we'll do it again next year. Yeah,
especially with me too, And it sucks because I can't do the email thing anymore because my email's full of crap. I don't know what happened. I think more people with my name are online now. And I'm getting so much fucking spam email. It's insane the amount of spam. I get at least 90 emails a day now. No joke. And it's all garbage, like weird, like rewards club emails, like, like Aeroplan type things, just like weird, like bullshit. So I'm on the Telegram now. So if y'all are trying to reach me, get on Telegram. It's a freedom respecting chat program.
Yeah, well, I'm on it now since you told me about it, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. But what are you listening to?
Okay, what am I listening to? What's the last album actually I downloaded was this band, this like new wave band from 79, 80 from Long Beach, California, called Suburban Lawns.
Okay.
They're kind of like Devo-ish with some kind of new wave. It's pretty good. And I've been listening to Slayer, God Hates Us All, like that
album. That's a great album. Underappreciated.
Oh, I love that album. That album is amazing. It's whenever I want to feel anger, like or being pissed off at something, that album is perfect for it.
Yeah,
it's great.
And it doesn't sound bad either.
No, it sounds great.
Yeah.
What else? Some John Fahey I listen to a lot. He's like this 60s, 70s Americana minimalist guitarist. Not much electronic music. I listened to Aphex Twin the other day, like after like a long time not listening to him. I love that track, Start As You Need to Go on I Care Because You Do. That's an awesome track. Yeah.
What about Alberto Bowel Movement?
Bowelmism. It's a good song, but it's overplayed. I guess it's great. It's a great song, but like I guess I'm finding the deep cuts they're called.
all the unreleased stuff that on SoundCloud or whatever.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff there too. But I've been listening to a lot of electronic music, like just slowly electronic music lately. I've been listening to your stuff. I listened to your stuff. Yeah, I listened to like your stuff while I was playing Donkey Kong.
Which album? The one that you didn't like?
Anything I didn't like?
No, I said the one that you didn't like with the philosophy excerpts in it.
Oh, I liked it. I just thought there was too much philosophy in it.
But you weren't the only one that told me that. A bunch of people told me that, and because of that criticism, I rebranded the whole thing. I made I made the Flight of the Black Bat ambient stuff, and I was like, forget it. I'm only going to be the breakcore guy for Oxygen Fad, and then like the rest of it, I'm releasing under other things. And you know what? In the long run, I think it was the best thing I've done. Because the last three albums were killer, And
the last few things you released, I listened to and I loved them. Yeah, great.
The last one, Avocado Toasty, was made entirely on a Nintendo DS.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. I was able to get crazy glitch out of it just as well as I could Renoise, if not easier, because you could use a stylus, and it's like 1,000 times more quick to like compose using a stylus than it is with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I can see that.
So like you just kind of let the pattern run, and then you could just kind of tap your notes out. But yeah, it's pretty good. what was I going to say? You were talking about the playing Donkey Kong, listening to music, and then I forgot what I was going to ask you. Anyways, whatever. Moving along. So
I guess, okay, I think that the initial question was like sounds. What sounds I was into, like when it comes to making music. Maybe that's what you meant at first, and I thought you meant what I was listening to. What music I was listening to. So I can get into like synthesis stuff you want.
Do you know what I've been listening to lately, Paul? You know what I listened to today for about 3 hours?
No.
A State of Trance, Armin van Buuren. This podcast, because when you sit at a desk all day and you got to focus, you can't listen to any good music. You just have to listen to fucking garbage. You have to listen to repetitive, just whatever, because it just gets you in that focus, I guess. So it's very cheesy, you know. You hear the super saws running on an arpeggiator with like some, but you know, I'm starting to get into it. Maybe I'll make a trance album. Who knows?
Oh, okay, yeah. It didn't sound familiar, but now I remember.
Yeah,
this trancey stuff. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, like I've been talking to younger kids, like in their 20s, early 20s, and they're getting into like trance and stuff. They want to make some trance.
Really?
I guess trance is coming back. I have no idea. Like I'm really out of the loop now.
Yeah.
I've listened to like what my son is making music now.
Oh,
he's
cool.
Like, but he hasn't been composing anything. Like I got Ableton Lite on his computer, but he hasn't been using it much. He's been using Audacity to create what's called ear rape music.
Oh, nice.
Do you know ear rape music?
Yeah, it's like deep fried memes. It's like you put a bunch of distortion on something, so it plays at regular. See, Paul, I'm hip with what's going on. I got a TikTok. Did I tell you? I'm going viral on TikTok. Did I tell you that?
No.
I have a TikTok. It's at 47,000 views. And I uploaded another one and it's at 18,000 views.
What are you uploading on TikTok?
The stupidest shit. It's this one video. Anyways, whatever. I'll put it in the show notes. But So ear rape on TikTok on Audacity. That's cool.
Yeah, he's really into SoundCloud. Like he listens to a bunch of stuff on SoundCloud and he uploads his stuff on SoundCloud. So he's happy. He's kind of like getting a creative foothold on something there.
Did you show him Merzbow?
No, I thought about it. Because like the stuff he plays, he took this one track he made that was really cool. He took this meme of this cat meowing. It sounds like no, I guess.
Yeah.
And he distorted the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's really interesting. Like, you know, it kind of made me think of Merzbow in a way.
Yeah.
But I haven't showed him Merzbow yet. No.
Well, it's coming from the same place, right? Like from what I understand, you probably know better than me as a parent. It's the irony of it all, right? It's like, and it's like, I think we forget what it was like to be that age. And
yeah, I don't remember. Like I totally get what he's doing. He's very similar to me as a 12-year-old. Yeah. So what he's doing is like, yeah, I get it, man. I'm not there anymore, but I know what you're going through. I know what you mean. Like,
well, I think you are there. I think we're all there, but it's different. Like, because when you're that age, for me anyways, I was getting kicked out. This might come as a shock to you or whatever, but I was getting a lot of trouble at school for, you know, joking around and being a jackass with my buddies and stuff, right? And
really?
And I remember it was a cynicism for the structure that I was forced into, you know, the glorified daycare of it all. And any time if you found out something was important to a teacher, that was like your target. That was like what your 5 friends like really, really tried to troll them with, you know? And when you think of something like Merzbow or any type of noise music or even breakcore or something like that, it's designed to be satirical and to sort of take the piss of the sacred cows.
Yes.
And when you see a lot of memes made by younger people these days, it's the exact same spirit. It's just in using mechanisms that we aren't familiar with. This is my opinion, but you know,
totally. I totally understand that place. Like it's a familiar place. But I can't I can't be like, they're kind of saying like, wow, that's fucking awesome, man. Like, because I'm his dad, and I'm more kind of like, I encourage him to do these things. In a way where I listen to what he does. He plays in the car all the time, and then like I tell him like, yeah, that's cool. Like, and like I don't like that as much, but like these things are pretty cool.
Do you have a limiter on your car stereo?
Well, no, I just put it down to like the lowest volume possible, and like it's fine. Yeah, but it's cool. Like I can't be the cool dad because he doesn't want me to be the cool dad, right? And
he'll ruin it for him.
He'll ruin it.
Yeah. If the second you like something that your kid likes and they rebel against it, you're supposed it's the reverse psychology thing. You gotta do what you want him to do through this rebellion,
Yeah, in a way, yeah. We do connect on a number of things, like some games. He's really into Team Fortress 2 right now, and he just got into Counter-Strike. And I don't play it as much as I used to, but like, I can talk to him about it and like share tips and whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't be his friend because it just the dynamic doesn't work.
Really?
Right.
Oh my God. That's like my dream, having a son and being his friend,
Well, like I'm friendly with him. Like, I'm not like a dickhead dad. Like, like I'm a very encouraging authority figure. I guess that's kind of like the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I can't just be like, fuck school, man. Like, teachers don't know fucking shit.
That's exactly what I would be doing. I'd be like, okay, I'd show them the entire history of like indoctrination. I'd be like, you're gonna read Walter Lippmann right now. You're reading Edward Bernays. We're going on this Noam Chomsky trip. We're gonna see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Here's some Jean Baudrillard. We're gonna read Simulacra and Simulation. Everything is the hyperreal. It's all a reality that's manufactured. I would just be going full bore Alex Jones on my kid.
I can't do that. I'm not there. I'm not where you are. So
okay, it's not a good place to be, Paul. But
I know. I understand.
Is he? So he's not playing with the synthesizer. Do you let him use the synthesizers?
Yeah. Like he can play with anything he wants. Like it's my gear. He just has a little Casio keyboard he plays with.
Oh, nice.
He tries
one. No. Oh, you just disconnected for a sec. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. So he's big into Undertale. All the cool kids love Undertale.
I thought it was Roblox and Fortnite and Minecraft.
Those things are cool in other ways, I guess. But he's big into Undertale.
I haven't played it. I heard it's like a love letter to Earthbound.
Yeah, I haven't played Earthbound, but that's what I hear too. I did play it. I played it straight, kind of like a normal RPG. I didn't realize you could play it like in different ways.
Like, what do you mean?
It's a great game.
Undertale or Earthbound?
Undertale.
Oh, okay.
You can play it kind of passively. You can play it aggressively. It's like it's an interesting game. It like the game unfolds based on how you play the game. That's what makes it interesting. There's like an existential aspect to it that really grabs a kid's attention, I think.
Yeah. Well, I know with Earthbound, the thing that was cool was like, you're living in this you're living in the adult world and you're a kid. So when you're playing this game, it's cool. You could stay in hotels and go to ATM machines and you could do all this adult stuff that was foreign to you at the time. And that was it was a nice little escape pre YouTube,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never played it. I heard great things about it, but I never played it.
Going back to music making. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, you said you're gonna come up for Square Pusher.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'll probably be around. I'm just not sure because I have vacation, and it's like I don't want to be like, I'm going to be here, and you come up and I'm not here. You know what I mean? But I'll probably be here. Let's say like a 70% chance.
If you're there, if you're not, it's fine. Like I'm probably gonna get a hotel or Airbnb or something. And
don't get a hotel. You crazy?
Yeah,
that's a digit track right there.
Yeah. I will probably go. Yeah, it'd be cool. I haven't seen him, and the last time I saw him was for that Mindfulness album release in Toronto. I think it was 2011.
Oh, the one with the mask.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, I saw him on that tour too, and I was so disappointed because I saw him on the Ultra Visitor tour. And that was fucking dope. I scream on that album. You could hear a howl by me because I bootlegged it myself. I synced the tape of my bootleg up with the certain songs on that album. And I was like, cool. He cut out some of my howling, but some of it stayed in. But I was impressed by that. But then the one with the mask, I felt like he just played the album like on a CD. It was like track per track, front to back, and there was like very little improvisation.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit. It sounded like he was kind of doing an Ableton set or something like that. But I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. But it was my first time seeing Square Pusher in Medicare. Yeah. He played Trying to Read Him at the end on bass live, and I was like over the moon, so I was happy.
Yeah. I suspect that he'll probably be more old school this tour, I presume. I don't know.
I think so, because the tracks, did you listen to the new tracks?
Yes, I did. Exactly what you're about to say is what I was thinking. Yeah. He's like calling back to all the old gear and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like it's like 1998, 1997 again in a way.
Yeah.
But with better mixing.
And now Aphex Twin, for whatever reason, is super popular now, super mainstream. So
is he?
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe he's not like Cardi B mainstream, but like the kids like the Aphex Twin now, and so I'm imagining this show is it might be hard to get tickets to. I don't know.
Oh, maybe I should try to get tickets now. Maybe.
Yeah, I just was reminded of that. Yeah. But who's opening for him? Do you know?
I have no idea. There's no opener on the website I saw.
Yeah.
Was it probably someone local? I don't know.
Oh, let's hope not.
You should open.
Yeah, I'm going to send him an email. Last time I was at the SAT, I was in a bikini rubbing shaving cream on myself with hentai blasting on 2 movie screens behind me. So I don't know if I'm allowed back or not. But,
really?
Yeah.
Did you play any music?
Yeah, well, I hit play on my Nintendo DS. It was a toy company. Because it's a funny story because like Null Sleep was playing and everyone was afraid to go on after him. And I was like, why? It's not like he's gonna kill you or something. Like like he's a talented artist, but I don't think he's gonna slap you in the face or hit you over the head with a chair or something. But anyway, so I was like, I'll go after him. I'll play because I don't really like playing shows honestly. But I was like, yeah, I'll do it. It'll be fun. And then I did it, and it was worth it. Man, that show we played, the one at Casa del Popolo. Yeah, the sound was really good.
Yes, the sound was really good. I wish people were there to listen to it.
Yeah, but wasn't that like on a Wednesday night or some shit? Or
yeah, something like that. I was just trying to like book some shows and play around.
Yeah,
why not? It was fun though. Yeah. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good. Same. That was the only reason why I went out. The sound was really nice there though. We should try it again. Maybe we should try it when you come up. That's a good idea. Maybe we could try to like book a show for when you come up. Obviously, not on the night of the Square Pusher show.
No.
Maybe we could do like a IDM after party. That's some good branding. Okay. Or if we do it the next day, we can hand out flyers at the show and then get them to go. That's a good idea.
I don't really want to play shows.
Yeah.
I'm not really into playing shows as much, unless like someone actually says like, can you play this show? We'll give you money.
Yeah.
Then I'll do it. But like just playing, I'll play at your apartment.
Yeah.
Like, just hang out and share tracks and stuff. That'd be
Maybe
fun,
we could have the show here.
Yeah, sure. Have your friends.
Yeah.
Your other producer friends and
exactly.
And we could do some stuff do you still live in the same spot?
Yeah, totally. Don't dox me, bro. But yeah, same apartment. It's, I have a sound war going with my upstairs neighbor for the past 2 years. I don't know if I told you about that. So this will work out perfectly. Yeah.
Well, you got to try to win this war, man.
Oh my God. I've talked about this like 10 times to people on the podcast. Actually, you know what? I don't think I've mentioned it on the podcast. Whatever. It's a little dicey. Like I'll save it for another day.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Fuck, what was I going to say? Yeah, playing live is kind of fucked, huh? It's like, I don't know. When I do it, because I feel like people are so uninterested with live music as I am that, like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, who likes this? Yeah,
like, I don't like bringing my gear out much anymore. Yeah. And it's, no one really cares. Like, I'm not a performer either. Like, that's something I realized over time is like, wait, fuck, man, like I'm not a performer, I'm a producer. Like, like I'm not there to entertain. I'm there. I shouldn't be there. Like I shouldn't be on stage playing my tracks, like staring at my buttons, like that's not entertaining. I realized that after like, I was going to St. John a lot. There's some really great guys, some really great artists there, playing some shows and they play with them. And
who are the artists? Shout them out.
Well, Shrimp Ring. Do you know these guys? Shrimp Ring and Jaguar Knight and Gold Punks and Sweet Goose 64. They're really into it. They're really into playing shows and people come to them and really enjoy it. So going there and playing. People enjoy what I was playing. I'd watch them playing, and it's like, oh, you guys are entertainers. Like you guys perform. Like that goes over way better when you're engaging the audience and you're, asking them how they're doing and all that stuff. Like I never do. I don't even like introduce myself. I just kind of start playing like some douchebag. So it's like.
I think douchebag's the other way around, but yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable trying to engage with the audience. Yeah. So I don't. And it used to be cool, when we first probably started making music in late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. Where it was like the army of introverts would go and play shows with their laptops and shit.
Yeah.
I used to love that. I was like, oh man, it's so cool. It's just the music. Yeah. The music, only thing that matters is the music. But now, like, you need to be entertaining for people to engage.
Well, it's different now, man. Like, I know people that I had a conversation with someone a few weeks ago, and they're like, yeah, I can't watch a full movie. I usually just walk out of movies halfway in. Yeah, and they were a younger person, and I was like in their 20s. And I was like, this is it, man. It's like it's a battle for attention.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And you see it, if you watch young people, watch them trying to watch a movie, they'll glance at the phone, they'll be fidgety, and it's hard to keep someone's attention for a long time these days.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, I agree. Well, I kind of work in the industry, so it's hard for me to be engaged when watching a movie because it has to be a really good movie. But I understand that. Like I do tend to like look at my phone during the predictable bits. Like, I know what's going to happen here. So like, I'll just check my phone. Yeah. I get it. But walking out of a movie halfway through, I've never done that. Well, like a movie theater?
Or whatever.
If it sucks, sure.
Figuratively walk out, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
But
like just check out.
Yeah,
mentally check out.
Yeah. So I get you on the entertainment thing, you know. But at the same time, I think it's like you kind of have to like channel like what you want to do with the other people, you know, right?
Yeah.
Like for me,
you do that
because
like you're very engaging with the audience. You talk to them and like you have a persona that you want to convey, and whether that's, you know, a fabrication or a reality, you want to have the audience entertained to an extent, right?
Yeah, and it's like, and for me, sometimes I feel like I'm in Dawn of the Dead, you know? And like, I just need to grab people and I just have to shake them, and it's weird. You have to shake them until the layers kind of peel off, and then I want a primal response from people what's the word I'm looking for? To remind me that I'm alive, you know? Because we kind of go through the motions all day, you know? And for me, if I'm fucking with someone, like, for lack of a better term, you know, if I'm like, you know, it's because I need, and it makes me feel good because I know they need it too, you know? And it's like that in everyday life, you know, if you're working in an office and it's just like you're staring at fucking Jira all day or whatever, and your spreadsheets and Google Docs, and you're just drudging, you know, like you gotta, you know, it's like, dude, we were hunting and gathering like a while back, you know, right? There's more to life than the repetitiveness of these tasks. Not to get all Fight Club or anything, but well, it's a little bit like Fight Club, you know, like it's like you kind of want that, yeah. So when you're in a room full of people,
invigoration. Yeah. You want to be invigorated or like invigorate people.
Yeah. When you're in a room full of people, it's the easiest time to do it because everyone is there with they're suspending their disbelief. They're like, okay, I'm ready to react. So this person on stage, you could do whatever and I'll react to it 10 times better than, like, you could go up on stage and say anything and people will laugh. Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you go up on stage and you grab the microphone and you go, oh, 1 second, I forgot my watch, and you leave for a minute and then come back, people will laugh, right? But it's so benign. But if you said that like in real life, people would be like, okay. And especially when they're drunk, you know? So it's, I don't know. That's, for me, it's like a perfect like scenario because it's shooting fish in a barrel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I think you enjoy that attention quite a bit. I think like that's something that you feed off of. It's surprising that you don't play more shadows.
Attention or tension?
Well, both, I guess. Attention and attention.
It's more the tension.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
but like whenever I see you play live, like you do have this engaging attitude, no matter what you're doing, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. I like watching it, and I love listening to your tracks loud on a good system too at the same time. So it's always a good time when you do it. You don't do it enough though. You don't do it very often. I guess it's hard because it's hard to get people out to watch somebody play their DS, right? Like I don't know. Like, I don't understand.
I appreciate the kind words, Paul.
Definitely.
True. But I think it's like I don't know, man. I'm trying to do other things. You know, I think there's other battles to fight. But yeah, maybe we should try to play more shows or something. I don't know. I that's the thing. I don't think people aren't as engaged anymore. They're engaged in other mediums. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Like the podcast stuff is way more engaging than playing a show these days, you know, because someone's in it for the long haul if they're listening to it, and you're inspiring them too, you know.
Yeah, I know. I think there's something that's captivating about people pouring their personal thoughts into a recording compared to, I don't know, I guess someone singing their personal thoughts to music live for some reason. Yeah. Things have changed in that way. that way. But I don't know, maybe we're just older too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm really not connected. I don't go out much anymore. I kind of like stay in my little studio and play arcade games or make music.
But you are connected though. You have the internet. Oh, your Skype just crapped out.
Yeah, most of the time. Oh, you what?
Your Skype crapped out for a second.
What crapped out?
Your Skype.
Oh,
we're back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
I'm mostly just on Discord talking to other the people who play arcade games right now.
Yeah.
I kind of dropped out of any forum or chats about electronic music because I didn't feel like I was getting much out of it anymore. It was a lot of bitching.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bitching happening about either cultural things or political things or autism things. Like it's getting too negative again. And surprisingly, a lot of the classic arcade gaming community are pretty positive about things, and they don't get into politics or anything that's. Well, they do get into some personal things with certain people, but I don't know. It's a different. I got different vibe. It's a different vibe.
Yeah,
and it's something that's new to me to get into, like trying to be good at really hard arcade games. Yeah, and it's a fun challenge.
And the thing about going back to the politics and stuff, it's not even real politics. It's like pre-packaged arguments by like newspapers that are owned by stakeholders in whatever it is that this political division is, like whoever the benefactors are, right? On all sides, right? You know, no one's actually talking about real shit. They aren't talking about like human trafficking or anything like that. It's all just topical, whatever's on the news garbage. So, and that's the worst thing too. It's just like, it's, you know?
Yeah, it's mostly U.S. politics.
You know, but I hear you on that. It's I think it's dumbed down a little bit, or it's kind of died out. I don't really, everyone's in their echo chambers, which I think is a good thing. Everyone says it's a bad thing, but it's like, no, man, we need these containment communities. So, because if you have enough of them, you can navigate in between them, right? So,
yeah, like I think the way I see it, it's like it's a bunch of digital villages, right? Like there's a lot of, you know, if you take the literal sense of a village, you know, you have a small community of like, you know, a couple hundred people who live together in the same area, and they get to know each other, and they have certain interests, and some of them get together and, you know, go to some barn dance or whatever like that. You know, there's a sense of community there, and there's a support system in that sense. So like it's the same thing online. There's like all these little digital villages you can kind of jump into and live kind of a different life, I guess. Like that's fun. I think it's a great thing. I guess you could call them echo chambers in a way, but I think it's more like kind of like, oh, these are little communities that you can connect with.
It's all an echo chamber, man. It's your fucking mirror neurons. You're copying everything you look at all the time. If that wasn't the case, you'd never learn how to walk, you know, as a baby, right?
Sure.
That's what Jacques Lacan was talking about. You know, you're always going to be drawn towards something that you end up creating your own biases over, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess it depends. I don't know. I'm just thinking personally of how I'm going about things. Like I'm always trying to find new things to discover and learn. Yeah. And you know, we've been making electronic music for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'll always be making music, but there are other things, you know, either in engineering wise or technical or creative realms that can open up new, you know, areas, new neurons, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's you're past the point of mastery, because it takes 7 years to master something. So you've been making music for more than 14 years. So you're double the point of mastery. And it's not like you don't have more things to learn. It's just that it's a game of inches at this point, you know. Whereas, like, if you're learning trigonometry for the first time, as you were rediscovering a while back, if I remember correctly, It's more you see bigger strides in your performance than if you're getting better at music stuff because you're kind of already going Mach speed on it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like, I think this whole arcade gaming thing is in that as well, where like I never knew how to be proficient at these games. They're really hard games. These are really, really difficult games to be good at. Yeah. And to watch people put the time and effort into them and be as good at them as they do is like, wow, that's really interesting. Like how's that happen? How do you go about to do that? So, you know, odds are I'm going to like drop out of this whole thing as well once I'm like feel like, okay, I got to handle it, you know, and then jump into something completely different. I think that's where I'm at right now. I don't know why it's happening at this stage of my life, but I'll always be making music, but like, I'm not going to be like, I'm not like how I was when I was in my teens where like, I want to make a bunch of like breakcore or make a bunch of like, melodic IDM, make a bunch of like trance or make a bunch of acids. Like now it's like, I'm just doing what I normally do. Yeah. And there's going to be some evolution to the creative process, but it's still essentially going to be, you know, in the same realm of where my skills are. And I'm never going to feel like I'm discovering a whole new thing creatively. It's going to be like, oh, like it's going to be play more than like work, I guess. Yeah. Which is fine. That's cool. Like I'll always have that. Like I'm always going to be making music anyway. Yeah. So I used to get kind of down if I wasn't making music. Yeah. I thought like, oh, I'm going to lose it. But like, I'm never going to lose it. Like it's always going to be there no matter what. And also like, you know, I don't have anybody waiting for me to be making more tracks. Like, you know, like I'll be making more tracks, but no one's like, where the fuck is the new Paranerd? Like, you know, it's like,
well, your son.
Yeah.
You're going to leave these tracks behind for him. And he'll be one day sitting on a porch and he'll be like, I'm going to listen to Dad's 15th album. You know?
Yeah, sure, maybe. And it's I don't listen to my dad's album, so I don't know if that's true.
Okay, well, all right. But it's funny because you said you're never going to lose it, but man, like I lose it all the time. Like I'll sit down and I'll be like, how the fuck do I use this program again? But the thing is, the fundamentals are so ingrained that it's like you find a better way to do what you want to do, doing something like completely different, you know? Like I started using Renoise again a little bit, and I was creating just brand new instruments out of like just straight up like waveforms that I was drawing with the pencil, you know, and doing like a, you know, ADSR, because there's you can make your own synth from scratch just by doing that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so weird to think that like there was a time where I was looking for the hottest VST, you know? But now it's like, it's so easy if you understand the fundamentals to just kind of make your own sound, right?
Yeah, totally. That's one of the main things I've learned by having hardware. It's like, oh, I get to build these sounds instead of like always kind of using the same tricks, not necessarily presets, but like, and Buzz, I'd always have these bag of tricks that I always used. Yeah. But now it's like I have this thing where I just wipe all the presets. Then I have to build patches from scratch every time I make a new track. Yeah. So every time I do that, I'm like learning how to synthesize things. Yeah. So now it's like, oh, well, now I know how to make, you know, particular sounds and know how to make new sounds whenever I try to make music again. And there used to be this kind of like feeling where it's like, oh, I have to make something that's very Paranerd, but there is all that's kind of out the fucking window, where I just kind of sit down and like I let it suck for like an hour so that something different comes out where it's like I don't know where it's going to go. Yeah, and then I hook onto something that I like, and I build, I build a thread around that, and it becomes something. I used to get upset when, like, if I sat down and like wasted an hour trying to make a good track,
Yeah.
But like, why try to make a good track when you can just make tracks? You know, who the fuck's, who's judging what's a good track, right? Nobody is.
Well, and that's the thing too. You got to be so badass that, you know, you're the one who's like telling people that it's a good track, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You looking for other people's validation is never really a great idea, you know, especially as an artist, you know? But, yeah, I've always been like that. I've always sat down and for the first 5 hours just noodling around and nothing would turn out. But that was just always my process. I knew that, okay, after I'll hit a point that I'm at something that I think is really cool, I probably would, the original song is probably not going to survive. And I'll go back and do that, you know. And sometimes if it's not turning out, I just render the whole thing. I throw it in my sample library and I'll use it as a loop or something in another song sometime, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Now I hear you on that, you know. Especially with like you said the owning gear thing. When I was going DAWless for a couple of years, it's the same thing. Like now I go on Renoise. I'm just like, all I need is 2 oscillators.
Yeah,
that's all I need. Right?
I know. It's amazing how much you realize, like, oh, it doesn't take that much to make something sound really interesting.
Yeah, and that's when you look at these new VSTs, it's just like, why? You know, like why Serum? Why Massive? You know?
Yeah, well, those have certain sounds that people really like, really want, and they can use them how they feel. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's cool anymore when it comes to VSTs or what. I don't
Serum.
know. Really, Serum wasn't that cool? Like 5-10 years ago. Still,
no.
Like, I don't know. I don't know I don't know any VSTs.
Are you still using Buzz?
No, I haven't touched Buzz in years. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm going to go back to Buzz again. Maybe for fun.
Yeah.
But I really, really love playing with gear. Yeah. It's having like one piece of gear and just fucking around with it, trying to get interesting sounds out of it is so much more fun than like, all right, let's try to sequence a whole song.
Yeah. And when you do go back to sequencing a whole song, you kind of realize that, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be, maybe you could have a simple structure. You know, it doesn't have to be fucking crazy or whatever, you know?
No, I know. There's a time where that was fun. Like the complexity of it was really fun.
Yeah.
And how crazy can you go? Well, like you really took that, you know, to a whole other level. Like whenever I listen to your tracks, I'm like, how the fuck is Will like?
I don't even know
sequencing this shit. Like
I don't even know myself.
Like you take like your kind of attention deficit type of like personality, and you really put it into like these tracks. It's like, oh wow, like I can't go that far. I have my own like kind of like pop structure, melodic, you know, early Aphex square pusher type of thing happening, and it works out. I love my music more now than ever. So, but when I listen to your tracks, I'm like, how the fuck is Will like destroying these tracks?
So ask me which one, and I'll try to dig out the data file. I delete a lot of stuff too, man. But you know, the thing that I've been really inspired by is the Nintendo DS and using Nitro Tracker, because it's the same thing all over again, where I felt like I was able to get as far as I wanted to go on PC. When you're on this thing that's limited to 2 megabytes, it's like I had to write a program to downsample my entire sample library so I could load it on this fucking thing. So it's all 8-bit, 32 kilohertz mono. And it's like, there's no beat stretching or anything. It's like, it's like old school. If you got a loop, you got to go with the pitch and you got to keep playing your pattern over until the pitch is right. So that yeah, you know?
Yeah, cool.
But it's cool because it's like, I'm at the point now where I really got the hang of it. The last album that I did was like the beta, you know, to the test to see if I could do something on it, and entirely only using the DS and a cassette tape. But the next one I think is going to be the one I'm going to be most satisfied with, because I really got to hang a Nitro. Dude, Paul, you should really try Nitro Tracker. It's really cool. You can pick up a Nintendo DS for what, fucking $20 now on Kijiji. You get one of these homebrew carts off AliExpress. They're like $10. And then, yeah, man, you just load on a bunch of samples, and it's limiting, but it's also really not limiting too, you know?
I'm not going to do that.
And you know what else I found? You could do a click track. I panned everything to the left side of Nitro Tracker, and on the right side, I made a click track. I took the right audio, patched it into the sync in on the Korg Volca SQ1, had the MIDI out of the Korg Volca SQ1 pointing out to my Axis Virus and my other shit. And when I'd hit play on the Nintendo DS, it was syncing in time with all the other gear. It's stupid, but it's funny.
I remember the video.
Yeah.
You showed me the video. I was like, what is happening here? Like how are you doing this?
Yeah. But that and like, you know, you had the Korg program for the DS, right?
No. Wait, I don't think so. I never had a DS. My son had a DS. I'm not really I'm not into trackers. Like the last thing I bought was the Analog Rhythm, and it's actually a way simpler machine than I thought it was going to be. Like I was expecting it to be like a crazy drum synth, and it's a pretty good drum synth, but it's actually kind of a limited drum synth. It's the sampling capabilities that's really great about it. Like I just put a bunch of break beats and a bunch of samples in it. It's like, oh fuck, now I can do fucking break beats. Yeah. But it's actually way simpler. There's there's a couple effects like the usual delay and reverb and compressor, distortion, and a filter with the band pass, high pass, low pass shit. That's been fun, but I kind of replaced my TR8 with this, thinking like this is it's gonna be way better than my TR8. The TR8's, I kind of miss it. I sold it to Phil Clark because he needed a drum machine, like a Roland drum machine. Okay. So I'm happy he's using it. He loves it. But I kind of miss it. I was like, it's so easy to just dial up, an 808 or 909 sound, and I know exactly how it's going to fit the mix.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I noticed I was in the market for a sequencer. I was almost going to get an Electron because of your good graces of the Electron stuff. But one of the things I was looking at was that TB6, and YouTube loves it, man. A lot of people really love that for controlling their synths. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I ended up getting the Electribe S.
Okay.
Because I got a good deal on one. I got for like $300 or something like that. And
cool.
It's okay. I prefer the Korg SQ1 better, but...
the SQ1 doesn't have a random... play or
well, it's just knobs you can turn
forwards and backwards and stuff.
Oh yeah, there is random on it. Yeah, you're right. Not random notes, but you just turn it randomly. It's like
it'll sequence random steps.
It'll go to the random steps. Yeah, but you still have to move the note knob or whatever.
Okay, yeah,
because it's little knobs for the notes or whatever. But yeah, that's awesome. I think I'm gonna buy another one. I picked up some new gear since we talked. I got rid of some stuff, but I got the Axis, the Virus C. I still have that. I picked up a Nord Lead 2X rack for $600.
Wow.
I know, from some guy in Kijiji, brand new. The guy got it from someone, and he said, it's never left the studio. And then I went to his place, and I was like, why'd you get it? Because I was curious, because it seemed... for the folks at home, if something sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true, So especially when it comes to these fucking classified sites, Facebook Marketplace and shit. And I was like, why'd you get it? He says, because Autechre uses it. And I was like, that's cool. But
the lead, I think, Frost Jockey, Mike Paradines' Frost Jockey alias?
No, I never heard it.
I think he has 2 albums he released on Planet Mu under Frost Jockey, and he pretended it was some other guy, but it was him.
Yeah,
I think that's all Nord Lead stuff too.
Really?
It's great. It's some of my favorite Paradina stuff, really.
Yeah, and Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I haven't really harnessed its power yet, but it's okay. I might get rid of it. I don't know. If you want to trade for something, let me know. But
you want a Akai S3000 XL?
What's that?
It's the classic jungle sampler, man. Akai sampler.
Is it the
floppies and everything?
Oh, S3000. God, yeah. I just got rid of a 2000. I got rid of my A3000, the Yamaha A3000 sampler, because I wasn't really using it much. And but yeah, so I got these 3 synths now. It's just the Nord, the Virus, and the K Station, and they are all exactly the same because they were competitors with one another in the late 90s. So they all have the exact same presets. Like it's like the same machine.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I don't know. Did you see the new Behringer stuff that's coming out? Like the 303 and like they released the Wasp and they had the Moog.
Yeah.
That 303 looks good.
The 303 looks what?
303 looks really good.
Yeah, it looks like a 303. I don't know if I can get another 303. Like I've had enough 303 in my life.
Yeah.
Just Rebirth, man. Just all you need.
Yeah, Rebirth actually isn't too bad.
Rebirth is great. I can still probably play Rebirth like it was 20 years ago and be completely happy with it.
Well, it's you can't even download it anymore, huh? Like it doesn't run on a computer, does it? Or
I don't know. I have it on my that's where my iPad died, so I don't have it anymore. You can have it on an iPhone. You used to be able to. How'd
your iPad die?
I don't know. It just stopped charging. And it's probably just the battery. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's like it's a first generation iPad, so you can't run anything on it.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah. So no new gear for Paul.
No, not lately. Like I don't know what I get. Like I did get. Like I said, I got the Rhythm this year for a pretty good price. It's a funny story, actually. There's a guy in Fredericton who's selling one. And I saw it. I think it was on eBay. And I messaged him. And he said, sorry, dude, 2 hours before you, someone else grabbed it. I was fuck. And then this guy I know messaged me don't stop trying to steal my analog rhythm. It's are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna get this? You're never gonna fucking use it. But I just bought one off a guy on Electronauts for $1,000.
Uh-huh.
And it's cool. I like it.
You think about getting a Digitrack?
What's a Digitrack?
Isn't it the one where there's a Digitone and then the Digitack?
Oh yeah, the other electrode. No, never thought of it. No, I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah,
I got a not a sampler, but I got something that plays samples. I have a bunch of synths. I have the TB3. People don't seem to like the TB3, but I love it.
Yeah, my friend loves it too. My friend has one. He's like, oh, it's the best. There's a random button on it, huh?
Yeah. Well, there's a random button on I think most of 303 clones. You just kind of I think the TB303, you took the batteries out and you put it back in and it would randomize all the patterns or something like that.
Oh, wow.
I think that Future Track, Acid Tracks, you know that track?
No.
It's one of the first acid tracks ever. And that's how they made that track. They just randomized the pattern and it became a huge hit. Oh, it's funny. I have my machine that is the heart of everything, and my Quadroverb I fucking love. I'm happy with what I have. There's just still lots to explore with that stuff.
What are you recording onto, a recorder or your PC when you're jamming, or what?
I'm just recording still a stereo track into Pro Tools.
Okay.
I do a bit of editing if I feel like a part's too long or something fucked up, but I don't really change it much. I just try to jam it. I jam a few takes and master it, and that's it.
Yeah, I've been using cassettes for my DAWless jams, and but then I picked up a Zoom H1N.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It's good, but I kind of fucked up because I think I knew it was going to happen, and the guy at the store knew it was going to happen, but I should have got the H4n because
Oh yeah. What's the H1N?
It's the exact same thing, but it's 1/8 inch, and
Oh,
the H4n is you could do 4-track multi-track recording, and it's got the XLR in the bottom of it. You know,
Yeah.
because it's a little janky, and the battery life on this is piss. It's like it's so fucked up. You got to plug it into the wall. Yeah, because if you leave the batteries plugged in, it just drains it. But it's really good, man. I love it. I carry it around with me in my book bag. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, those Zoom recorders are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the H4n at work, and I was playing it with it the other day. I was doing a location sound gig for this stand-up series that I'm working on or mixing, and I needed to record like someone's wireless mic, and I just used the H4n. It worked perfectly. It was great.
Did you see the new one that they have out? It's like the I'm not sure if it's the H6 but it's 32-bit floating point. So
yeah, it'll never peak.
Yeah,
it'll never clip. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, everything should be 32-bit floating point.
Yeah, but it's really expensive. It's like $600 or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, no, those Zooms like H4n is it $200? It's such a great little machine for the price. Yeah.
If you're starting into making music, that's what I would recommend. Get one of these and build your sample library.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like if you want to make really cool ambient music, field recorder ambient music.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that.
I'm trying to get, who's that girl who she recorded the Melvins, and she's YouTube famous because she put like guitar effects through like a pickle. Do you hear about this girl? I forget her name. She recorded the Melvins and like everybody, and she inspired me to do this adventure recording thing, where it's like you just go out with a group of people and you record stuff. And I contacted some people, but you know, people are in 2019. You know, well, I'm like this, but like I'm trying to get people to go out with their field recorders and start recording some stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found some photographers that'll go with me, so that's fun.
Oh yes,
but yeah, because I want to get every year. I delete my sample library and then I start from scratch. I pick what I'm going to use for the year. But for 2020, I want to go completely from scratch. I don't want to use anything that is from anything. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to start.
Yeah. Well, you have the H1n to record a bunch of stuff.
I forgot to tell you about the sample splitting.
The sample splitting.
You remember I was asking you, I was like, hey, Paul, how much did you charge me to do? So here's what happened. So with the fucking Zoom, right?
Yeah.
I've been recording hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of jams. And I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to edit all this stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe I could find someone to make sample packs out of this or whatever. So I went online and I went on like Fiverr and like these like gig kind of sites looking for someone that could cut up the samples. And I had one guy and he was doing it for a while, but it was weird. It was like, I don't know if it's because I've been like editing samples my whole life or if this guy really sucked, but it was like, I'd get like 10 samples out of like 2 hours worth of audio, you know? And I'm like, bud, like what is going on? Like, I just need the one hits, like go in, just throw it in recycle or something. Just, you know, like, but anyway, so I scrapped that idea and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to salvage all these samples. So I don't know if I'm going to write a program or I don't know.
Well, I showed you, I think I sent you like what I did in Pro Tools was like, it was just a beat slicer. It would slice, at certain transients, depending how sensitive you brought the bar up to like what transients you want to slice, and it would just slice it.
Yeah.
And then I named them whatever I wanted.
Yeah, that's probably the best route to go. What's a good program what's a free program that I could use that could do that?
I don't know. maybe Reaper could do it. I don't know if there's other DAWs that have like a beat slicer like that.
Yeah.
Isn't Recycle free now? Like I would figure it's like 20 years old.
No, I'm not. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I got Windows now, so thank God. Here, I'm gonna type in. I'll do it after the show. Yeah,
it sounds like a pain in the ass, though. Like having to sort through all that stuff.
Yeah, well,
unless you know exactly what's in there.
No, I have no idea, dude. I listened to it. I'm like, who did this? You know, but because what happened was I was doing it for the Flight of the Black Bat project that I was working on, but I had it was something ridiculous. It's like 10 hours of material for that or something. So I just put out a new album, and I picked maybe not the best songs, but the ones that I thought were the most interesting sounding ones, because a lot of it just sounds exactly the same, you know? Because that's kind of the point of it, you know? It's just sort of like a droney kind of horror kind of thing. But now I have a bunch of drone and horror, like 9 hours worth of stuff. So I was thinking of starting a fake Bandcamp label and then releasing. Oh my God, that's what Bassfuck was supposed to be too, right? Because I asked you to be on that. I mean, Paul, every time I have a sound idea, I just like hit you up and I'm like, hey, you want to do this?
I always say yes, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I wanted to do like, because I got rejected from a horror movie music label, and I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to do my own, and I'm going to take all these B-sides and I'm going to release them as different artists. No one's going to know they're mine. Unless, well, now the secret's out, you know?
And you just ruined your label, dude.
Yeah, I just have this one label where it's just drone or whatever. You were doing drone for a while, huh?
Yeah, I still do. I have a bunch of droney ambient stuff recorded. I did. I just released something this year. Yeah, I did. There's something it's called Experimental Music for Producers.
Oh wow!
And it's all electronic, droney ambient soundscapey stuff.
Yeah,
I love it. I think it's great. It's probably a hard listen, but I love it.
I don't find that stuff hard to listen to at all. You know, I prefer listening to drone now. Like I said, it's
not drone. It's more like sound design, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I like drone. I don't do it very much. I try to just create a bunch of different sounds with the mono machine and my synths. I try to break it to make sounds I don't know we can make. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, it's fun making the drone on a DAW-less setup, especially when it's on tape. And you know, for me, I have a little thing where I get the lights on and stuff, and I have like a setup when I'm doing it, and it's like a warm bath, especially if you're baked.
Yeah. I don't drink or smoke anymore, so
it's been a while. Did I tell you I got really well? Maybe I won't tell you on the podcast or whatever, but I got super sick like three months ago, man. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't been drinking or anything. Yeah, they thought it was something wrong. Well, maybe I'll save it for after the podcast.
Sure.
But it was pretty serious. It's fucked up. So I was eating nothing but white bread and peanut butter.
Jeez,
yeah,
dude.
it was crazy. Took a bunch of time off work and stuff. It's fucked. But let's wrap it up. Let's wrap this up, and we'll talk about some other stuff.
Do we touch all your questions, all your points?
Yeah. Well, is there anything you wanted to? I'll make this a bonus episode. This is good bonus episode material. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Just there wasn't very much else to revisit other than like, what are you doing? What's new?
Yeah. Well, I'll have you back on with Blake because Blake wanted to talk to you. He liked the episode with you guys. You guys are on Telegram now, so
yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Bassfuck super producer Telegram room. If you want an invite, just send me your phone number and we'll add you. But
sounds fishy, man.
Yeah, it's super. Well, Telegram is super fishy. It's like made by these Russian guys, and it's fucked up. Anyways, okay, cool. Thanks everybody for listening. You can go visit Paul at what are your things?
Paranerd.bandcamp.com, soundcloud.com/paranerd. You can go to youtube.com/paranerd, I think, or just put Paranerd in YouTube. You can go to Spotify, put Paranerd in that. You can go into Deezer, put Paranerd in that. You can go into iTunes, Apple Music, put Paranerd in that.
There you go. TikTok.
No, I don't think I'm on TikTok.
You are if you went through DistroKid.
Oh, really? Did they put that on TikTok?
This is my plan. You think I'm on TikTok for the clout? It's if I become viral, I could put my songs there, and then I'll get royalties on the songs if I could get a meme going. So all my videos are just my songs trying to get a meme with some traction.
Here's one thing I want to say on the wrap up is that the music business is fucking shit, man. Like it's such a pain in the ass. Like, I don't like trying to make a living off music at all anymore. I tried to play the game. It's a pain in the ass. It's so much work for so little to come out. And I didn't put that much work, honestly, but it's like there's so much more things that happen outside of making music when it comes to the music business. It's just not fun.
Well, you're playing the wrong game, dude. It's your music is art, and art is culture, and culture is ideology.
Exactly.
You should be. You got to be in the cult leader game. You know, because that's what, if you're doing cool shit, like you're using music to circumvent the vernacular that we have, the language that we don't even have to properly express our being on this earth, right? You know, so like when you're making music, it's like for me, anyways, it's like how can I fuck things up? How can I shake people up? You know, how can I do something different? You know, like if you're trying to make money off of like art can't exist in capitalism. You know, we think it can, but it can't. Like we have some examples, but it's not.
It's two different things.
Yeah,
it's two different things.
like art is in capitalism is design. You know, it's architecture. It's things that provide types of consumer value, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if you're making music for like Apple or something, you know, it's because you're trying to sell some stuff, right? It's not. It has nothing to do. I'm happy that in a way that you're coming to this realization, you know, because maybe you were just approaching it from the wrong angle, and now if you're doing it from like a more of a I don't give a fuck kind of point of view, not saying that you didn't before, but like even more so now, then you might see some more value out of it, right?
Yeah, well, like for the most part, I did things without giving that much of a fuck. I still have like, you know, certain expectations of quality, either like imposed on myself or imposed on like culturally that we're, you know, living in the like electronic forums like that. But then like I decided like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to play this game, you know, like actually book shows and like send stuff to awards and stuff, you know, like, and just give it a shot, like see what it's like.
Yeah.
And, you know, I did it for like 2 years just to see like, what's this game like, you know, to understand how the game works. I think we talked about this through email, right?
Yeah.
And then, it made me realize like, oh wow, it's a lot more to it.
It's a lot of ass kissing.
It's a lot of networking, a lot of ass kissing, a lot of emailing, that made me think like right now, actually, the show you had with Kyle was really insightful because Kyle McDonald is really insightful when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
His tips and his insight and advice were like spot on. They're like, you know how to work it.
Yeah.
And that was great. I really liked that episode.
Yeah.
But I don't want to play that anymore.
Well,
I don't want to play that game anymore.
Same. But you know what I did? I just hired people. Like,
yeah, well, I can't hire people. I don't have enough money to hire people.
It's like you could pay some guy on Fiverr like $5 a week and be like, here, send out 2 emails for me and whatever. You know what I mean? Like but
you have to like maintain that. There's just all this maintenance happening outside of making music, and that's just no fun.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you want to make money off music, it's like, good Lord, it's like sample packs and shit like that. And even then, like, who's gonna buy your samples packs, right? I don't know. It's fucked up. I think you get more value, like creating culture than you do with money. Like I'd rather be Kurt Cobain and poor than be a Bush X and rich. You know what I mean?
Those are great examples.
right, or whatever.
Yeah. Like there's it's just 2 different worlds, right? It's 2 completely different worlds. And I love just making music solely for myself, like way more than like, and I'll continue to release stuff, but like I don't put any effort into like my releases, just kind of put it out there. It's like, here it is. And because there are people who listen to it, I know that. There's like you said, like there's just the joy of creating for its own purpose, its own reward. And like, trying to create a business plan, right? Like,
and at the same time too, like the type of people. Well, I don't know. I don't want to generalize, but it's better this way.
Sure. Maybe for me, maybe for you too. I'm not sure how you're looking at it, like exactly. I know, like you said, you hire people to like email.
Well, for me, it's totally cultural warfare. This podcast is cultural warfare. It's just reading shitloads of biographies of CIA agents infiltrating countries, like propagandists, like they're like crystallizing public opinion by Edward Bernays. Oh, good Lord. Or like I said, Walter Lippmann, the guy who wrote Public Opinion, he invented the word stereotype. And you realize you're like, or even going back to the French postmodernists, when you realize everything around you was made by someone no smarter than you, and that it's just like this aggregation of an illusion of a supreme authority, it's like when Nietzsche talks about the supreme authority, where he's talking about God being the supreme authority and all this. Not to go on one of my rants or whatever, but the point is, it's like you can change things. Like fuck trying to be like Cardi B or something like that, or whoever, Billie Eilish. It's like you can change the fabric of like reality. You could change people's perceptions on not about life. Like most people's lives are just working to get enough money to buy some shit someone else made, like to just really fuck with like people's like psyche, and that's the thing I'm trying to reach, like who else is going to talk about Soulseek circa 2000? You know what I mean? I want that stuff. I want Soulseek to be fucking remembered, and
is Soulseek still around?
It is, but the heyday, maybe it's the heyday now. Maybe it's the heyday now, and it's kind of like this thing.
It's a heyday for somebody.
It's the rite of passage. I started reading this book called The Ascent of Money by Neil Ferguson, I think the guy's name is, and spoiler alert, money has a very checkered past. Let's just say that, and it's talking about Francisco Piazzo, or however you pronounce his name, one of the Spanish conquistadors, and we all know what happened. He comes over and he comes into Peru, and he basically forces these people to work in the silver mines, and they're all dying. And then when they run out of indigenous people to enslave, what did they do? Did they stop? No, they went to Africa, brought over some African slaves to go in these silver mines, you know what I mean? And then they take all the silver and they bring it back to Spain so that they could go do all this fucking war stuff too, and like go do their battles or whatever the hell they were doing. But the point is, like, if these assholes feel like they have the right of conquest, you know what I mean? We have the ideological political and cultural right of conquest to poison people's mind and to create countercultural propaganda to undermine and circumvent the dominant narratives of the capitalist society. Does that make sense? Is that a little too crazy?
I love how you're like a cultural agent in this cultural war. Like,
that's what it is, dude.
Well, I love how you see it that way. I don't see it that way at all.
But it is. It is, man.
Sure, it is. It is in a reality. Think of all the music. One of many.
Think of all the music you listened to when you were in high school, dude. Think of the times that you were bummed out, like a girl broke your heart or some shit, and you're listening to My Bloody Valentine, the first two songs like on loop or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like that shit changes you. It changes your brain, man. It changes your gut biome,
Yes.
It fucks you up. And to think that you don't have the power to be able to manifest that in other people and influence other people the world is shitty, man. Like it's great. There's so much opportunity, but there's so many dickheads out there. Like if we fought back through, without using words, but through art and through music, like you're talking about people being political on Facebook. It's like, dude, this post that took you 2 hours to write and Grammarly check or whatever, if you would have wrote a song or a poem, you would have been able to reach more people and reach them at a subconscious level than at this intellectual level. It's not important to be smart, people, like fucking go buy some clay from Dollarama, make claymation, go make deep fried memes. That's the thing that's beautiful about memes, going back to what you said your son's doing. It's really, it's art, and it's this cynical rebellion at like a primal level,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's like I'm not I'm not an agent in this war, but I love watching this stuff and seeing how people are engaged in it. Yeah. I think that's more fun. I'm more in the observer type of role than someone who's active in it. Like I've been more and more getting into that type of personal role. Actually, like I've been meditating a lot.
Awesome.
And getting into like mindfulness and trying to be not necessarily someone who's always fighting against the current of visceral feelings and cultural backlash and shit like that, or someone's like just kind of like seeing it happening around them and like being like, wow, this is interesting, like being very present in those events than like being swept away by them. I guess I create music in that vein as well, where like I have no idea what's going to come out when making music, and I don't have any intent of changing anyone's mind or cultural viewpoints or anything. I'm just trying to discover new things just generally. I'm trying to find novelty in things that are familiar.
Yeah.
I guess that's more of a passive role than like what you're doing.
Well, why not teach mindfulness? And why don't you make meditation music? That's one of my ideas.
Well, I do. I think it doesn't have to be like chill.
Yeah.
I think like the last album I released, I think has that type of attitude towards it. It's very, there's a journey that happens in every track.
Yeah.
There's like a backstory that can be, evoked in every track. It does for me anyway.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it. Maybe other people can get their own type of backstory listening to these tracks. And yeah, there is kind of a mindfulness to it. There's a presence in it. Well, because it's what music is. Like, you're being very present in the sounds that are happening.
Do you set it up though as a journey? Like, do you let the person know that, oh, this is a concept album or something, or you just release it?
No, like it's a collection of similar motifs, I guess. That's kind of what an album is, isn't it? it's usually like I released a bunch of EPs, and they all have their own kind of like this is the world that this EP's in, I feel, and these songs are kind of in this world, so make an EP out of that, or make an album out of these songs, and they all have their kind of like universe happening in there that you can kind of sit in and experience. That's how I see them.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's great. That's like the best part about making music is like creating new worlds and like living in. Like,
exactly. You know, people shit on escapism too much, you know, but it's escapism is the simulation of the mind to work out ideas in abstract ways, you know?
Yeah.
It's like math.
Well, escapism. What is an escapism? I don't know. Like, if you're out on a hike or like, you know, skiing down a mountain, you're escaping some type of like existential feeling, you know, some dread. Yeah. But like with this whole mindfulness and meditation thing, like it's actually like telling you like, no, you have to like dive deeper into the dread to, you know, take away the meaning of the dread. Yeah. That's kind of like part of it.
What do you mean really the dread? What's the dread?
Well, the dread is like, you know, life is pointless, right? I don't know. That's my type of dread. Like my life has no meaning and everything is just kind of like a bunch of random shit that happens. And there's like, there's a kind of a bit of a duality behind that where it's like, I feel that's very liberating because nothing has any meaning. So I can put meaning to anything. But at the same time, it's like, well, why bother doing anything if nothing has meaning?
But isn't the meaning of life to survive and replicate?
Yeah, that's probably the physical meaning of it. Yeah. Biological meaning. But why does life have to well, why does life want to do that anyway, right? Like, why can't it just not be instead of to be? And, you know, now we're getting into like, you know, more existential dread.
Yeah, because I'm curious about the meditation, the mindfulness, because I think maybe I could use some of that. but I don't know. Where do you start? YouTube?
Well, I started with the Headspace app, but then like now I'm listening to Sam Harris's. Do you know Sam Harris?
Yeah, of course.
I listen to his
podcast.
Waking Up course. Like it's guided meditation. Yeah, and it's great because like he doesn't just kind of like instruct you how to do it. He kind of like tells you like he gives like kind of like interesting philosophical ideas while you're in this practice. Yeah, like he describes the conscious space and how you can kind of put yourself in this state of being aware of the conscious space of like, you know, the heat on your skin and like, you know, the light and shadow, the color and shadow of like your eyesight and how your body feels on the chair while you're sitting on it and stuff. And you can just kind of be very present in those sensations. Yeah. And then he asks you something like, okay, well, the sensation of being yourself in this conscious space is also just a sensation. Yeah. So where does that sense of self reside? Is it behind your face? Is it like in your head? Not really. It's like all these sensations, conscious sensations, are like just in this space. So it kind of makes you think about like, oh yeah, do these things kind of exist? Do they really mean as much as you think they do? Like visceral feelings of anxiety, you can like be very mindful of that feeling instead of like being carried away by the feeling. You can just be an observer of the feeling and observe the feeling, like, you know, come and go instead of like just hoping for it to go. It's really interesting. It takes practice though. I've been doing it for like a year and a half.
Sounds like smoking weed.
Well, like apparently doing psychedelics like mushrooms,
ayahuasca, DMT.
Yeah, like you can get to that state more readily, but like you don't get all the benefit. You just kind of like take a shortcut into like this sense of present. right? Like being very, very present and losing yourself, like your sense of self.
Yeah.
But you can do that just, without any psychedelics. It just takes practice. People, like one thing that people do in mindfulness is like, I forget what it's called. It's like compassionate mindfulness, where every waking hour you are just thinking about giving kindness to people in your life.
Uh-huh.
If you do that for 16 hours a day for like years, you're going to have this sensation, like this habit's going to create this crazy sensation of like lovingness, right? Like just doing that.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of hokey, but it's a practice that people do. Like, it's like anything. Like if you work at carpentry for like 2 years, you can be a really good carpenter.
Yeah.
If you work at being compassionate, just like thinking about being compassionate for 2 years and like working at it, you're going to be a very compassionate person. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah. So like, what type of person do you want to be? Practice that for as long as you can.
You don't want to, don't give me that advice. I have a portrait of Napoleon in my bedroom. It's the only thing on my Napoleon and Caesar. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand. I can see that from your persona, Will. Like,
I want to get on the ships. I want to cross the Mediterranean. I want to go take out the Gauls. Yeah. Well, that's cool though. It's nice to hear that. I heard a lot. I know a lot of people that are into Sam Harris. He's very popular right now. I thought I don't know much about him. I think I only heard him from his like atheism talks or whatever, But he's like kind of in the Jordan Peterson crowd. I think him and.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like I know he debates Jordan Peterson, but I don't know Jordan Peterson. All I know about Sam Harris is I listen to his podcast once in a while, and I kind of follow his meditation techniques.
Cool. I'll check it out.
He's like a Buddhist. Well, he's an atheist Buddhist.
Wow.
He's like a practicing, meditator.
Okay.
He was, for a year and a half of his life, he had a vow of silence and just meditated. Right.
Wow.
So he has experience in it. And he seems to know what he's talking about.
So is it like Stoicism or?
It's part of it. Yeah, just like Stoicism is involved with it. You can kind of go into that. And it's more about just being present about what's happening to you, right? Like, like when you can get to that state like kind of instantly. If you practice enough, you just kind of like, let's say you're walking down the street and this car almost hits you. Yeah. You can be in a state where it's like, oh, okay, like I almost got hit by a car. Yeah. And you get into like that fight or flight type of sensation. But instead of like being carried away by that fight or flight sensation, you can like observe the sensation come. It's like, oh, this thing's coming. Like this emotion is there. What is this emotion? And you kind of just peer into it. Yeah. And try to understand what it is. And then you can observe it like dissipate too. Like every thought that you have about whatever, like. I'm
kind of angry that you're telling me this because my therapist told me the same thing. And I realized I think she just listened to the Sam Harris podcast and was like telling me this shit. Yeah.
Well, it's not a Sam Harris thing. It's a mindfulness thing. It's a meditation thing. Yeah. It's a very Buddhist thing where you're just gonna sit there and like think. Let's observe your thoughts. That's pretty much what it is. Observe your thoughts. Observe the sensations in your consciousness. Really that's simply that's the simplest way to put it.
When I was younger, when I was about 18 years old, so through the Aphex Twin NU forums, actually, of all things, there was a Berkeley school, one of the first online courses for like music or something. Anyways, I went to it and they were analyzing the songs for some guy linked this on the Aphex Twin message board, and they were analyzing Let Forever Be, the last song on Revolver, the Beatles, right? Never listened to the Beatles at the time. I'd only listened to strictly German industrial music, you know. And I started reading the lyrics, and then they're breaking it down. They're talking about, it's because it's a Buddhism thing. So then I started reading a bunch of Buddhism. I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead and some other Buddhism things. And there was a year where I was into it. And I think that was the thing that spawned me to stop eating animals. Honestly, yeah, there was a lot of that in there. But I never followed up. I never went back. I kind of went more into philosophy after I got into Buddhism. But yeah, it's cool. You know, there's a lot of stuff to learn out there. You know.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much. That's
the anxiety I get. Yeah, for sure. I have 100 books in my apartment, and I know I'm never going to read them in the next 10 years. You know, and it really pisses me off because I want to read all of them now. You know. So I'm constantly trying to find ways to jam information into my brain. I wrote this program that scrapes the first sentence and the last sentence of every paragraph of an ebook, and then takes that manifest and then buses it into a text-to-speech program and shits out an MP3 so that I could consume like the Coles notes of these books. And I was trying that for a bit, and it was like, it was a little janky. It kind of worked, but it kind of didn't work. But I'm waiting for the Matrix Neo thing, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but I understand, like, there's so much stuff, like, I both want to learn and understand. But I think what I've settled on is, like, I'm going to, like, every year and a half or so, I'm going to choose one thing and try to understand that as much as I can and really dive into it, like the math thing, like understanding trigonometry and calculus. And then I guess, like, I'm doing the arcade thing, and then I'm I bought a bunch of, like, arcade PCBs off Pat that spin it. I bought like 60 of them for like $500. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. So I was like, I don't know what games they are. So, like, okay, well, this is going to be a whole project of me understanding how electronics work, right? Like, that's kind of like,
you know, I was going to suggest Python.
Yeah, my son wants to learn Python. He's trying to learn Python right now.
Oh, dude, this is going to encapsulate the math, the gaming, and the music, because it's so easy to go on tangents with Python for things that you're into, you know. And Python's really good for math. There's like a lot of math libraries, scikit-learn, pandas, and you could. And it'll take you 6 months. You'll be a pro at Python.
Well, I thought of it. I tried to learn some Python, but, like, I didn't have a goal to learn Python.
Facial detection. Nah, I'm serious. Yeah. That's use OpenCV. It'll take you a month, and then you'll know what you want from there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like, I did dive into, like, that for a few days, and then I decided to, like, learn pure data instead. Like, got into that, you know, for a few months, and that was fun. I was able to build, like, a few oscillators and synths and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't apply them yet. Anyway, there's always stuff to learn, right? That's my point.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's wrap this up, Paul. My Libsyn account is over. I don't know if I think this MP3 is going to be 100 megs, so it's only going to be one episode this month. But thank you, everybody, and see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, let me just stop this. Okay.